Now let's go to Lynden. We're talking about, I know many of you heard about the Family Dollar shooting and killing of Simran Gordon. And I want his uncle to kind of tell us what happened, what's been going on. It's been very troubling for the family. And I've been working with them to get the information out and going to Family Dollar to talk to people. All right, so Lynden, when you're ready, you're muted.
Hey, Shanique. Good evening, everyone. Like Shanique said, I'm Lynden Gordon, Simran Gordon's uncle. I am his mom's younger brother. So I'll just jump in. I received the call the day after. So that was Thursday, I believe the 7th of October, that my nephew was shot by the police. My niece had actually called and told me. And so I immediately went over to my sister Claudette's house just to go see what's going on, what happened. Nobody had any real answers at that particular time. We just know Simran was shot. We heard stories of a shootout, a robbery. Did just hear anything that was really troubling, but we're still dealing with the initial notification of the death, and we actually got like a late notification. They actually notified my sister about 2:30 the next day, when he actually was murdered around 9:30 to 9:40ish, somewhere around in there. So that was just one of the starting of the issues, just a small one. So just working through that. Just trying to get answers. So just kind of a lot of that, which is actually still going on. The news reports to us, and especially to me, didn't make any sense. One, Simran wasn't in a position or where he needed to do something that drastic. That just kind of wasn't, it just didn't fit. Then also, I'm like, that Family Dollar, that's his home Family Dollar. Like, pretty much knows everybody there. That's the one is directly located behind their home, or they're actually behind the Family Dollar. So I'm like, this kind of not making any sense to me. But I'm someone who I just want to know facts first before I jump to any conclusion. I just kind of want to hear what's out there. I want facts, so I
Now,
can
Lynden,
what I know.
I
Yeah.
don't want to cut you off, but I do want to, like, because I know you're skipping over some parts. Talk about the fact that the message that they went out after he was murdered or killed, whatever word people prefer, that he was involved in 3 homicides. They put that out there. They said that he was involved in some type of.
Yeah,
Tell us what you know about that.
Yeah, that was the other thing that just compounded all this insanity. Was the police chief at the time had released a statement stating that Simran was a suspect in 3 murders in Rochester, with no proof. Our lawyers have been back and forth. They haven't got any proof from her at that time when she was police chief, and the current police chief still doesn't have any proof or any information linking him to these 3 murders. On top of the fact that things that we know as far as being his family, he never was taken downtown for questioning. He never was picked up. He never was arrested. They never came out to my sister's house. So I'm like, at what point in time, and I'm still confused in my head as to why you would throw that type of statement on top of this individual right after his life being taken. And to me, it feels like a setup. It feels like a conspiracy. It's like they're making things go a certain way they want them to go, and to persuade the public's opinion to get things to stay in their favor. So that was a big one. We're dealing with facts now. Just even now, they also lied and said that my sister, Claudette Gordon Curry, declined to view Simran's body. That was a lie. We didn't get the body. We couldn't go view it. And we didn't receive his body until the night of the 15th. And he was murdered the night of the 6th. They had his body that whole time. It was that. It's just a lot. They're currently trying to get my sister put out her house, saying that she's in violation of having dangerous firearms and dangerous weapons. So that's an ongoing thing we're fighting now with the city, as far as them like shutting her house down and everybody has to move. There never was any weapons confiscated. No one there has weapons. It's just not that type of household. She's never had any points against her house ever. She's been an owner of her home for almost 20 years now, and not one mark up until now. And it's funny, things are happening after her son is murdered. She immediately was given 10 points, and if she gets 2 more within 6 months, she can lose her home. So it's just been a lot of things like that, harassment, police officers sitting out undercover, sitting out front of her home, coming to the funeral, coming to the grave site. And I don't know what these things supposed to do. Like, I don't know if it's some form of scare tactic. It's not going to scare me. I'm still going to speak the truth, and that's it. And another big issue that we're having is a real one for me, is the lack of how this system has put out all the footage, the 911 call, the Family Dollar store footage, and the 2 body cams. Now, what the public received was the 2 body cam footage. I seen the Family Dollar store footage. I also heard the 911 call. And they also said, the AG's office said they had more Family Dollar store footage for us to view, but they weren't done redacting it. We went to view the footage on Tuesday, 6, 7, 8. So maybe that's the 9th or the 10th of October, when then they released, the body cam footage to the public that evening. Nowhere in the video does not show a robbery at all. Like, and that's something that I kind of knew in my heart, but I just wanted to see. It wasn't a robbery at all. Like, literally just standing there talking to an individual. So I don't know. Well, I know why. They're not going to put that video out, because it's going to cause the public to question what they're saying and their narrative of this shootout. There wasn't a shootout. There wasn't a robbery. He literally was just standing there the whole time he entered the store talking to another employee.
So Lynden, I want to throw in there, my question, because, I've been asking questions.
Yeah.
So when people ask you, why was he standing behind the cash register? Why was he standing at the cash register?
So it wasn't really like the cash register spot. That's typically a spot where people can go reach to get items at. So it wasn't like he was in an odd spot where you shouldn't have been. And at the same time, with the one manager was actually getting money. You'll see that. And my thing I'm pushing for is for the Family Dollar footage that I seen, and the rest of the footage they said they have to be put out to the public, so you guys can actually see what we saw and understand why we feel what we feel. And it's 9:30 at night. I don't know the store processes. Maybe they're, collecting money to go in the safe, or collecting money to take to the bank, whatever their processes are. But she had the money in her hand the whole time, even after the police came. So if someone's robbing a place, why would the manager still hold the money the whole entire time they're in the store? And then when you see the video, it looks like she just resetting the drawers. So it's just been a lot.
So I do want to jump into, because I actually went to the store, and the store is set up kind of weird. There is an aisle behind the cash register, which is like behind it's weird. I have a video of it. I sent it to Lynden. I actually talked to the cashier that called 911. She's actually the manager. So I went there, and the store is set up. I've never seen a store that I can think of where there's like an aisle right next to the cash. It's a weird setup, and we have the video just, to kind of make it make sense. That's why I wanted to go there to kind of see how it looked, because in the body cam footage, it did appear strange. So Mike, I see your hand is up, and then we have Fred.
It's actually Jane. So I think now part of my question was to be clear that this was the killing where the young man was behind the counter for the cash register. And then when he was shot, he ended up being down in a different aisle. And there was sort of something in his hand in a paper bag, which they said was the gun. So I've got the right incident. Is that correct? Okay. And I would love to just get clear, why was the call made in the first place by the staff person? And just to help me understand what was going on.
So I'm not sure as to, because that's something that I still am questioning now. Why was this phone call made? Because when you get a chance, and like I said, I'm working on that video to be put out to the store, you will see the same individual who actually called. She actually was in the video in the front with Simran. He supposedly is robbing the store, and actually walked, out of frame. She had a basket in her arm as if she was doing reshots, and was able to walk away. And that's another point I'm looking at. Like, if someone's committing a robbery, why would you let anyone walk away out of your eyesight where they could potentially go call the police on you? So I'm kind of confused on that. And her story, what she claimed in the 911 call, doesn't match the video footage or what happened. So I don't know what her intentions were. That's another thing I'm still looking for now to this day, answers for that, as to why you lied in your 911 call. And then the funny part is 911 actually had to call her back. So I don't know, did you hang up? So why? Yeah, I'm still puzzled on that one too, because what she said didn't match with what was seen in the video. There was no gun point nowhere at any point of the Family Dollar store footage that we viewed. None. So why would you lie and then go say that he held these people at gunpoint? You said you seen a gun, but the family store footage shows him from the time he walked in to the time the police came. And Simran did not have a gun. And that's based on store footage.
Sorry, Lynden.
Yes. Okay. Two things. One, I just want to make sure that we get it clear that he was actually not behind the counter.
Correct.
He was standing, and I saw this in the video. He was standing on the side where a person would be at the cash register. He was standing on the side of them. So he was never behind the cash register. Right. I saw that in the video. And so many people keep saying that he was behind the cash register, but he wasn't behind the cash register. Also, I do find that odd, because even when the police came in the store, the young man that was in front of him walked past as he walked away. When he walked away from the police, that young man walked with him for a few steps in the same direction. So my mind was like, well, if you're robbing the store, why would I go in the same direction that you're going when the police come? I would go the opposite way. And there is room for him to go down, where the other cash registers are. But he never went in that direction. I found it strange that he went in the same direction as your nephew. And right. That was odd for me. I had a problem with the woman that was standing there that was saying she had her eye on the gun, her foot on the gun, but
Correct.
never looked. Huh? I'm
And
sorry,
then
but
the other officer.
right, the woman, but she
Yeah,
never looked at the gun.
correct.
Who puts their foot on her gun and at least not look at it to see what kind it is or,
Right.
something? She never looked at the gun. And when she started to make a comment in reference, the one officer, the male officer, came and cut her off from making whatever statement she was going to make. So I find there was a lot of things that just did not make sense to me. And for her to take all that time and hold a gun on somebody that clearly is dead, I really didn't get that part either.
Yeah,
That didn't even make no sense.
that was another thing that I had an issue with as well. If you're saying you have the gun and it's under your foot, knowing the times we live in, the things that's going on, just to make sure you don't have face any type of charges, just to prove your story, let your body cam catch it. Why is it being hidden? And another thing, so is that the foot on the gun, there wasn't a gun. That was a bottle in the bag. He actually had just went to the liquor store before, and they have footage that we're working on now that proves his trail from the liquor store to the family dollar. So that was a liquor bottle in his hand, and a gun isn't shaped. If you look at the footage that they released to the public, even the shape of when he had a cast on his right hand, blue cast. That's a blue cast. He had broke his hand. He's right-handed. Only free hands is left hand. But the bottle, that's not how a gun. His hand shape while he's falling on the ground. If you look at it, it's shaped as if you're holding a bottle like this, not a gun like this, like this. It's two different shapes. And then I just have a real problem with the officer that actually murdered him. He screams and says, "Put down the gun." He's chasing after Simran, but if you notice, he's turned his body slightly to the left. None of us who watched that video seen a shooting because he turned his body to the left. He shot with one hand, so his body cam would not pick up what was going on in front of him. So now, because we can't see, he then can say whatever it is he chooses to say because we can't see. All we saw was Scott toilet papers. And anybody can go back and watch it now, and that's what it's going to show. You didn't see the shooting. You seen after the shooting, and then that's why he was able to say, "Oh, he shot at me," which you don't hear a different stream of shooting. It's one constant stream. But you turned your body away, so that way we couldn't see Simran not shooting at you. And then all Simran shots were to his back. It's a solid 3, and we're waiting on the coroner report to come out because I believe it's other 2 in his chest that clearly have to be exit wounds because he didn't turn around and no one was facing him. So, yeah.
Howard, I think Howard had a question.
No, Lyndon actually answered my question. I was going to ask, did he have a gun? He said, I heard him say several times he did not. And just to be clear, that's that same woman who walked away and made the call. That's the same one who said she's in the back room or something like that?
Yeah. So, and that's my issue with her. And I don't know what her issue was or why she did what she did. But if you're in the middle of a robbery and the person committing this robbery has given you a chance to walk away, you're closer to the front door. Why would you walk to the back room? And in her 911 call, she stated to the 911 operator when they called back that she could not leave out the back room. But you just were in the front where you could have walked out the front door. That's where safety is. That's where hope is. And you'll be able to save someone else's life because you don't know if you're in the middle of a robbery, you don't know what this person is thinking. Since you said you've seen a gun and you had the opportunity, you had 2 options. Walk to the back and be stuck in the back room you can't get out of and call the police, or walk out the front door where it's freedom, hope, and life at. And if that situation, if you're in this real situation, and if you had the opportunity to go to the back and call, if you're in a real situation, why wouldn't you walk out the front door? You're actually closer to the front than you are the back. And all these things are shown in the Family Dollar store footage that they haven't released because they know that right there is going to be a shadow of a doubt. No qualms, no back and forth. It wasn't a robbery.
Mario?
Yeah. So, Mr. Gordon, you said you saw the Family Dollar footage of the incident. Does the Family Dollar footage show Simran apparently shooting the gun? Does any of that appear?
Not at all. You watch the video, Simran is standing where he was standing the whole time. He came in the store, he went over there, he was talking to another employee. After you see this employee, the employee he was talking to was the employee who the police ran around when they would start chasing Simran. He was the guy right there in the video. You can see the guy they're talking. The video didn't have any sound, but the guy is leaning on the counter. Simran standing right there. He's like right across from Simran or a shelf, whatever he's leaning on, talking to Simran. The other employee, believes a supervisor, I'm not sure, white female. She was just getting money out the drawers as if she was doing like, changing over the drawers the end of the night or closing them out. Simran's hands never left his pockets. The same way y'all seen when on the video that they released, when Simran was first, when the police first came over to him, he just was standing there. That was his whole position the whole time in the store. His hands never left his pocket, and just brings questions. I think. Now I'm like, if I'm robbing a place, I'm not waiting patiently and calmly for the police to show up. Whatever money is available, I'm taking it, but that never happened. And then I said, okay, well, I'll play devil's advocate. Maybe he said it and didn't pull out a gun or gave a note or letter. Just saying. She never handed Simran any money. She held onto the money the whole time he was in the store, even after the police came. Because that's when the video cuts off, the store videos, because when they start going down the aisle, then they're out of frame. But the whole time, never gave him any money. He never took his hands out his pocket.
Yeah, I asked that because I watched both of the RPD's footage of body camera footage of both police officers, and then the attorney general put one out. And none of those videos that I've watched, I don't think that there's anyone on here that's seen the video can conclusively say that they saw Simran shooting back. That in fact, the videos that I did see, I hear the female police officer say that she heard 4 or 5 shots. But there was another video recording that came out where apparently the family met with the investigators, and I hear the investigators say that there were approximately 6 shots fired. So it was kind of interesting to hear that the investigator said that there are 6 shots fired, and the female police officer that was there on the scene said she only heard 4 or 5. So I'm just trying to understand where the 1.5, or 2 shots apparently came from.
So this is what's happening. So I was there. They're lying, and this is what happens when you lie, and you're lying in the middle of everything while it's going on. You miss out. Your lie can't hold because you're telling a lie, and then now something else pop up, but you already told that lie. So you just have to kind of leave it in the air. Another big lying issue was, so we watched the way it went. We came down, AG office. We listened to the 911 call. Then we watched the Family Dollar footage. Then we watched the officer who killed my nephew, his footage. And then we watched the female officer footage. Then after that, they showed us a picture of a gun. So we instantly said, where was this gun at in the video, and who gun is this? Because it's not in the video. So a friend of mine who was there asked, did you guys do any forensics on this gun to see? No, but okay, there is no button. This is from AG office. This was I believe is Detective Gonzalez, if I'm not mistaken. These were questions we asked to him. And he said, oh, there wasn't any, but there is no but. Now, mind you, now just listen. Now they showed us a picture of a gun. Now, when you watch the video what they released, it has the caption on it that shows gun in bag. But guess what wasn't in the pictures they showed to us before they put that video out? The bag. So if this gun was in a bag, like they said in the video they released to you guys, then where is it at? Why wasn't that bag in the photos you showed us before you released it to the public? They're lying all over the place and they're doing a messy and a horrible job of lying. Because what happens now, due to that video, I want to know where the bag is, because the bag is evidence. And the picture you showed us, you showed my family, only showed a gun on the ground, and you can't see the gun relative to his body. It's not next to his hand. It's like a zoomed in shot on a gun, and it's on the store floor, but you don't know what store floor. Is this a picture y'all picked out of the archive? You don't see the gun, the photos with the gun next to Simran. And then now this bag that they claimed the gun was in, it's not in none of the photos. So now this bag is evidence now. You just made it evidence by stating the gun was in the bag. Where is it? So are we tampering with evidence? Are we planning evidence? Because that's where I'm at with it.
Fred?
Couple questions. So what are other than the two questions, other than the one employee who called the police, what did the other three employees say?
We haven't
Did
heard
they
from,
say, because I'm wondering, did they say it was a robbery?
we haven't
Because
heard
like
but the customer that was there stated that it wasn't a robbery and he did not see a gun. He didn't know a robbery was happening and he did not see a gun.
So
And
yes, I actually spoke with, so I've been working on this case. So I spoke with the guy. When you watch the police body cam footage, you'll see a guy in a gray hoodie. His face is blurred out, but ironically, the night of the incident, he went live. And I remembered his gray hoodie during the live. So I inboxed him to ask him, well, what happened? And he stated he didn't know there was a robbery and he never saw a gun. He said he didn't know there was even the robbery until the police started shooting.
Okay. My other question is, he had you said he went to the liquor store, he had a bottle in his hand. Where was the bottle when he fell?
It was in his hoodie, and you can see it when he falls out, when his hands are stuffed off from running when he's falling. You can see it's a bottle. That's what it was. It wasn't a gun.
So it didn't break when he fell.
I don't believe it did because she kicked it out of the way so quick.
Oh.
See, that's what she claimed she had under her foot. She just kicked the bottle out the way. If you watch it again, you'll be able to see it.
Howard?
Lynden, you have any so-called community leaders supporting your family?
No, we have the Free the People. Those young ladies came through. Ashley, Stanley, Janaya. We also have it was I'm not sure their exact name. They gave my sister Claudette the card, but it was the Muslim Brothers group. And those gentlemen came out, and I appreciate those ladies from Free the People, and then those gentlemen from the Muslim Brother group. And that was another, and I'm glad you brought that up, but that's something that had been weighing on me heavy, is the lack of support we have for our own community within our community. No matter what anybody feels about this situation, this is a mother who lost her child, and no church leaders at all. And I'm a Christian. I don't even understand how. You don't have to agree with nothing. You can think whatever you want to think, but this is a mother who lost her child. Where's the support and the love for that alone? For our Black leaders, and any leader, but specifically our Black leaders and our church leaders and our political leaders who we vote for. Where? Nothing. Not a card, not a flower, not a text, nothing.
I hear you. Well, Shanique knows we have a relatively small organization. Shanique knows who we are. If there's anything we can do to help, please don't hesitate to let us know.
I definitely will, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Do we have any other questions or concerns that we would like to ask? Okay.
Yeah, so Lyndon, you say
Yes.
no one, no spiritual leaders in this community have reached out to your family.
No.
All right. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, Lyndon, they could reach you through me.
Yes.
Any support you would like to give to the family, or, definitely the mother. This is definitely a case that I've
Yeah.
been looking into. The footage left more questions than answers for me, right? And I appreciate everyone on the call. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I think everyone here has my email, and I want to thank you all for joining the state of Rochester. Is there any final words or anything or any concerns that anyone has that they want to add to, the wrap up of this, or any issues you would like us to cover maybe next week or the following?
I want to talk some more about racism, and what are we really doing to impact racism in this community? There's a lot of rhetoric that goes on, but conditions clearly are not getting better; they're getting worse. I suppose we saw that Pittsburgh just made the New York Times, right, for their ongoing racism. But that's just one example. It's countywide, it's statewide, it's national in nature, it's international in nature. So, we're very serious about trying to do real things, accomplish real goals, measurable goals in terms of impacting racism. So if you have I don't like this language, but they say bandwidth to have more discussion about this, we certainly will want to participate.
Yeah, we'll definitely plan on talking. We definitely plan on talking to these issues on race and racism. I'm glad we had a diverse group tonight. We definitely have more white people than I expected, but that's always a plus, because then it gets conversations going. It gets us talking. It opens us up. Oh, hopefully next time people will be more open and willing to discuss these issues that impact our community.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Brother Howard, for saying that, because I was actually going to say the same thing, and I'm hopeful, in the near future, Shanique, if you could put some more of these platforms together to discuss racism. I do want to apologize. I missed the first part of this discussion when Bill was talking about his book, so I missed that first part of that discussion. I'd like to have more discussion, but one idea that perhaps could really get the needle moving on this, Shanique. I don't know if perhaps you can see maybe reaching out to the NFL offices in New York, because they have this end racism platform within the NFL right now. And given the state of what is going on across the country and in their institution as well, the high profile situations that has happened in their institutions as well, it would be good if we could perhaps somehow try to reach out to those offices in the NFL to see exactly what they're doing specifically to end racism, because they have decals that say end racism. They painted in their end zone, and there's nothing that I've seen that's clear or concrete or measurable, right, or significant to see how they're actually impacting racism. In fact, they got a 10-year plan right now supporting $250 million towards anti-racist activities. So I'm just kind of curious to know what that all means and what they're actually doing to end racism, because everything that they're doing that I've seen thus far is just is symbolic.
Right.
And I don't think they have any of their NFL executives that have actually talked about what they're actually doing to impact racism. So that would be a major step forward.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely work on it. This was definitely encouraging tonight. And again, thank you all for joining Toxin Magazine, State of Rochester. Yes.
Shanique, along the same lines, I saw this morning a note in the newspaper that the Salvation Army has adopted a stand in terms of, I can't remember the exact language, but that they're going to become active in working to end racism, something like that. I don't remember the exact words, but it's in the paper this morning. So you
Okay.
might want to check with their local chapter, see what
Oh,
they're
I'll
doing.
look into that. Thank you, Howard.
Right.
Mike, you had a question? Okay. Just waving
Hey,
by?
can
Okay.
you keep
All
us
right.
updated on and Lyndon on this situation? And I'm wondering, like, as a group here, with with the 8 of us, can we do something? To because there's a lot of holes in this story, and it's
Lot.
like it's the narrative that I mean, I'm sure that between us 8, there's somebody we know somewhere that we can put some pressure to get something going. I mean, Mike,
Yeah,
you don't know
release
anybody
that footage.
downtown?
And
Bill,
release the footage. The
Joel?
biggest,
Release the Family Dollar
what,
footage.
release the Family Dollar footage in its entirety, because they said they actually had, the day we went to view, listen to 911 call and view the footage they have for us. The other AG agent, can't think of her name right now. She said, "Oh, don't worry, we have other Family Dollar angles for you. We're just redacting them currently." That's been about to be 2 months, moving
It
towards two
don't
months.
take that long. It don't take that long.
So where's the other footage? And we were actually led to believe, because we were told that once they're going to release the footage to you guys when we get done viewing it. But what they released was just the body cams and not the 911 call or the store footage. And I'm like, that was a tactic move. That was a tactical move to keep us like, oh, okay, the truth is going to be people be able to see, and let them see it, get them out the way, and then we'll just do what we want to do after we have them out the office.
And that's what I love about Lyndon. He is just a realist. He's not saying this, that. He just wants the footage released. So how many family members, it's not like he's saying, oh, cover it up, because if they were hiding something, they wouldn't want the footage put out there. They're saying the family just wants all of the information put out there so we can make an informed decision.
Yes,
That's it.
and you know what's funny though? How they do this is that if I show like they did, they showed the body cam footage and they gave a narrative to the body cam footage.
Correct.
So that way, when I send you the other footage and the 911 call, what you subconsciously will do is take that and make it fit to the narrative that you've already seen. And that's
Right.
just a tactic that they do all the time. They'll release the part that they want you to hear and see what they've said it is. And then the other stuff afterwards, when you get it, you're trying to make it fit. You're trying to make a
Yeah, but
square fit in a circle hole.
right, but they have
Yep.
already poisoned your mind to what they want you to follow with. And a big thing of mine is I'm someone I'm quiet, I'm low key, but I'm someone who likes facts, and I'm in love with truth. Because with truth, no matter good or bad, truth is truth, and truth stands alone. It needs nothing else with it. That's it. And what I want people to do is be free thinkers, be their own thinker, and stop being sheep, especially our people. We tend to believe whatever is put out in the public, whatever the news platforms put out, we tend to go with that. But what this has shown for me is for issues I heard about dealing with my own race and also other races as well, but mine specifically, I'm like, well, what did that even happen the way they said it happened? I need to know more facts on it now, because now I'm living aside of something that I knew things wasn't perfect at all. I'm not confused about what the state we're living in. It's a mess and it's horrible. But to actually experience the lies being told, the corruption, and the web weaving that they're doing to destroy someone's legacy that they already killed. My nephew was a father, got a little boy. His name Simran Jr. He's never to see his father again outside of a photo. And these things they're doing now to it's bad enough he's gone, but now you're hurting the family by trying to get the house taken away, coming out to the house, stalking, following, for what? Everybody there works. We work. That's it. There isn't drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? We have that in our society. That's life. And we have that in all races. But we're not drug dealers. We're not drunkards. We're not thieves. We're not murderers. We're not killers. We're law-abiding citizens. Simran never had a record. But this is an individual that killed 3 people. And once again, I play devil's advocate all the time because I know life situations can happen. You may be in a situation where you're fighting for your life and you kill someone that way. So I'm a realist about things. But another thing that I can't take is how this system and these officers are able to be judge, jury, and executioner. Even if I thought, or even if my nephew was robbing that store, it still does not give you the right to murder him. Murder, first off, New York State does not have a death penalty. That's 1. 2, robbery, attempted robbery is still not punishable by law. And 3, you're the officer. You're supposed to uphold the law. You don't supposed to turn into judge, during the executioner right on the spot, and that's it. And then that's not your job capacity. You don't work, and that's not your capacity. So yeah, I'm just kind of at awe at the insanity and where things are going and where they're just where they're sitting at. And it's hard, but yeah.
Brother Gordon, Noel and Joe Beth asked if you have legal counsel.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Thank you. Yes.
Who is that, if you don't mind?
I don't have the card on me. My sister has it.
Here in Rochester?
Yeah, Yusef Taha. And I'm not sure if the firm, I can't think of the name offhand, the firm he works for. But I believe he was on the Daniel Prude case, if I'm not mistaken. So if you know that firm who handled that, that's the firm he's under. But his name is Yusef Taha, Taha.
Yeah, they're out of Chicago, I believe, if it's the firm that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I don't have the card on hand. But yeah,
so they're not local, Fred. I know what you're thinking. I'm reading your mind. Fred is thinking how all the legal people here are in cahoots.
Yeah,
they are literally. I kid you not.
And it's just our reality. This whole race thing isn't imaginary, and it's embedded. It's ingrained. It's what created this system. The system wasn't created and then racism jumped in. It was created racism. It was created out of racism. That's the brick in the molder for the society we all live in.
Oh, say that again, man. Say that one more time.
Yeah, it's the brick in the molder of what our society has came out of racism. It wasn't built and then racism implemented it or jumped in. It was built from racism, and it was built to support the individuals who were in charge.
And it's working exactly like
and
it was
it's working.
built.
A lot of people say it's broke. It's not broken. It's working the way it's supposed to work. It's not broken. Every time I say it's broken, I say you're wrong. It's not broken at all. It's working just the way it was designed to work. And we are on well, it affects everybody horribly. We just feel more of the pressure of it. But then what it does is the ones who reap the benefits are mentally trained to not care about the ones who don't. And they've been trained. In act and behaviors and the privilege. Because you feel better when your stomach is full than it's empty.
Yeah, now that's the class issue that you're raising, which is getting deeper and deeper in our community. Bill, that's our next book. The system is working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this thing up. And again, thank you so much. And we will definitely talk about race and racism you know, this is a conversation that could keep going and going and going, right? All right, so there's comments in the chat. Lynden,
Yeah, I'm gonna get in there. I'm so non-tech savvy.
okay, all right. Thank you all again for joining me, and we look forward to the next one. Have a great night.
Thank you,
for
everyone.
hosting it.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.